there's been no let-up in markets in Asia as the collapse of Chinese property giant Evergrande unfolds. Shares in the highly indebted company have fallen 80% this year, and analysts fear the crisis could spread throughout China's property sector and the entire economy. It's already being described as a Chinese Lehman Brothers crisis. For the fourth day in a row, Evergrande investors and creditors have been gathering at its headquarters in Shenzhen. Their anger only increased after Evergrande offered property and even parking spaces instead of cash payments. Well, I'm joined in the studio by my colleague and our resident China watcher, Clifford Coonan. Clifford, just explain to us why this is taking such a toll on markets.
Well, it's really weighing on sentiment because Evergrande is a huge company. This is $300 billion we're talking about here. So in real terms, it has a real effect. And also real estate is such a powerful component in the Chinese economy. It's 15 to 20% of GDP, which is massive. So it's really got nerves rattled right across the region as well because it's so important. And I mean, one analyst I was reading today was talking about Evergrande as being ever Teflon, and it's running out of non-stick components because Evergrande has been in this situation many, many times. And I recall when I lived in Beijing, one of the senior executives from Evergrande was a neighbour of mine, and one day the workers surrounded the house and the army had to intervene because they hadn't paid wages. So this is kind of a regular thing, but it's never been as serious as this.
It's so serious that there's been talk of a state-led restructuring of the company. Is the government in Beijing going to step in?
This is a big question. I think it's tough to imagine them directly intervening. I think what we're going to see is a big rescue program, debt for equity, that they will exchange the debt for equity, and that the government will behind the scenes encourage the financial institutions to take part. There are very, very many financial institutions taking part in this, hundreds, and a lot of them, the majority of them are state-owned. So there's going to be a lot of, the government will be able to put pressure there. And it's such a powerful thing in terms of stability and the unsettling effect. I mean, there's hundreds of thousands of people are having homes built and they put down payments there. So it's a big, big factor.
Does it tell us anything about the wider way in which the Chinese economy works?
Yeah, I think that's one of the other reasons that people are feeling so jittery about it, because the Chinese economy has been, I mean, it's been registering growth, but there is a sort of a feeling that it's stagnating a little. And I think this speaks to that. You don't have the same pace of urbanization that you did a few years ago. The property market is definitely slowing down. You're not getting the big increases in prices. And local governments profited heavily from the real estate boom by selling land to these real estate companies. Right. So a lot of these elements that were big components in the economy are now sort of under pressure. So I think that going forward, I think we're going to see this plan come in. Imagine that's what will happen, and the government is going to try and make sure that it profits from that.
OK, Clifford Coonan, thanks a lot for staying across this story for us, and we'll see how it goes from here on.